Have you ever heard a story so chilling it stays with you long after you've heard it? A tale that unfolds like a dark cloud over what should have been a bright childhood. What if I told you about a boy whose life was cut tragically short, not by a stranger, but by those who were supposed to protect him? In 1998, the city of Toronto was rocked by a case that would become one of Canada's most notorious crimes. It's the story of Randall Dooley, a 7-year-old boy whose life was marked by unspeakable tragedy. Randall's tale is not just a story of death. It's a narrative woven with neglect, abuse, and the ultimate betrayal of parental trust. Randall's body told the story of prolonged suffering minus 13 fractured ribs, a lacerated liver, multiple brain injuries, and bruises covering his tiny frame. Weighing only 41 pounds at his death, he was the victim of a horrific pattern of abuse. His father and stepmother, convicted of second-degree murder, became emblematic of the darkest aspects of human nature. The question that haunts us is, how could a child, so innocent and full of potential, slip through the cracks of our society? Join me as we delve into the shadows of this heart-wrenching case, seeking answers and hoping to shed light on the darkness of Randall Dooley's murder. The tale of Randall Dooley is a harrowing journey through the darkest corridors of human behavior. It's a story that begins with hope and ends in despair, a cautionary tale that exposes the vulnerabilities of the innocent. In 1997, Randall and his brother were sent from Jamaica to Toronto, Canada, with the promise of a better life. They were to live with their father, Ddward Dooley, and stepmother, Marcia Dooley. The boys arrived full of dreams, unaware of the nightmare that awaited them. As the days turned into months, the home that was supposed to be a haven became a prison for Randall. Behind closed doors, a pattern of abuse began to emerge. Randall's brother witnessed the torment but was powerless to stop it. The abuse was relentless, and Randall's small frame bore the evidence of the suffering. The neighbors heard cries, the teachers noticed bruises, but the system that should have protected Randall failed him. The abuse was explained away as accidents, and the warning signs were overlooked. Randall's voice was lost amidst the disbelief and bureaucracy of the adults around him. The final act of this tragedy unfolded in September 1998. Randall's lifeless body was found, and the truth could no longer be hidden. The autopsy revealed a tapestry of injuries that told a story of prolonged and brutal abuse. The couple's defense crumbled under the weight of evidence, and the truth was laid bare for all to see. The trial that followed captured the nation's attention. The courtroom became a stage where the gruesome details of Randall's life were recounted. The stepmother, Marcia, was identified as the primary abuser, while Ddward, Randall's father, was accused of turning a blind eye to the horrors inflicted upon his son. The verdict was a damning indictment of their actions. Both were convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. The case of Randall Dooley became a symbol of the worst kind of betrayal, a child harmed by those tasked with his care. As we reflect on Randall's story, we are left with unsettling questions. How many more children suffer in silence? What can we do to ensure that no child's cry for help goes unheard? Randall's story is a grim reminder that we must all be vigilant in protecting the most vulnerable among us. The conviction of Ddward and Marcia Dooley marked a pivotal moment in Canadian legal history. It was a case that not only brought justice for Randall, but also sparked a nationwide conversation about child welfare and protection. The public outcry led to increased scrutiny of child protective services and the implementation of more rigorous checks and balances to prevent such tragedies from recurring. In the wake of the trial, educators and child welfare advocates called for better training to recognize signs of abuse. They emphasized the importance of not dismissing children's complaints and the need for a more proactive approach in investigating potential abuse cases. The story of Randall Dooley also serves as a stark reminder of the silent suffering many children endure. It underscores the responsibility of communities to be vigilant and to act as guardians for the voiceless. Randall's case teaches us that it is not enough to be passive observers. We must be active participants in safeguarding the well-being of children. Years after the trial, the Dooley case continues to resonate. In 2023, Ddward Dooley was granted full parole and faced deportation to Jamaica. This decision reignited discussions about the justice system's role in balancing punishment with rehabilitation and the rights of victims versus those of the convicted. As we reflect on the life and death of Randall Dooley, we are reminded of the fragility of innocence and the devastating impact of cruelty. His story is a call to action, a plea for awareness, intervention, and above all, compassion for the most vulnerable members of our society. The murder of Randall Dooley sent shockwaves through the community, prompting a critical examination of child welfare systems. It raised uncomfortable questions about the effectiveness of the safeguards in place to protect children from abuse. The case became a catalyst for change, leading to reforms in how child abuse cases are handled by various institutions. In the years following the trial, there was a significant push for educational programs aimed at helping children understand their rights and how to seek help. Schools began to implement more comprehensive programs to teach children about safety and the importance of speaking up. The media coverage of Randall's story also played a crucial role in bringing to light the often hidden issue of child abuse. It sparked a national dialogue on the need for better support systems for children at risk and the importance of community vigilance. The legacy of Randall Dooley lives on in the form of increased awareness and advocacy. Charities and nonprofit organizations dedicated to the prevention of child abuse have cited Randall's case as a driving force behind their missions. Fundraisers and awareness campaigns are regularly held in his memory, ensuring that his story continues to inspire action and prevent similar tragedies. The case also highlighted the need for better training for professionals who work with children. Social workers, teachers, and healthcare providers are now better equipped with the tools and knowledge to identify and respond to signs of abuse. This is a direct result of the lessons learned from the failures that led to Randall's untimely death. As we reflect on the life of Randall Dooley, we are reminded of the resilience of the human spirit and the capacity for communities to come together in the face of tragedy. Randall's story is not just one of sorrow and loss. It is also a story of hope and the enduring pursuit of justice. The aftermath of Randall's case brought about a period of introspection and reform. The public, horrified by the details of his abuse, demanded accountability and change. The government responded by reviewing and strengthening laws related to child protection. New policies were introduced, aimed at closing the gaps that Randall had fallen through. Educational campaigns were launched to empower children to speak out against abuse. Randall's Law, as it came to be informally known, mandated stricter reporting requirements for suspected child abuse. It became a beacon of hope, a commitment to ensuring that no child would suffer in silence as Randall did. The community rallied around the memory of Randall, establishing scholarships in his name to support children in need. Vigils were held, not just to mourn his loss, but to affirm a collective resolve to protect the innocence of childhood. In the legal arena, Randall's case became a study subject in law schools, teaching future lawyers and judges the importance of vigilance and the protection of the vulnerable. It served as a grim reminder of the consequences of inaction. As the years passed, Randall's story continued to inspire change. It became a touchstone for discussions on how society treats its most vulnerable members. It urged people to look beyond their own lives and consider the well-being of others. The legacy of Randall Dooley is a complex tapestry of sorrow and hope. His story is a testament to the power of a single voice to ignite a movement, to challenge the status quo, and to inspire a brighter future for all children. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.